Ladies and gentlemen, now this is the hardest top 10 video I have ever made, because this year we have had so many banging champions, and all 10 of the characters that we're going to talk about today are arguably worthy of that Champion of the Year award. There have been so many really good additions to the game, and every single one of these champions, in my opinion, is a really solid god tier champion. And there are even god tier champions on my tier list that didn't even make this top 10. So it gives you an idea of the caliber of the top 10 champions of 2019. But anyway, let's get into this list and start counting down. But after you watch this video, let me know in the comments section below, who do you think are the top 10 champions of 2019? But anyway, starting off at number 10, and this is how you know the list is going to be really competitive. We have Black Widow Clairvoyant, who is an absolutely astounding champion. This character has the potential to be immune to bleed, poison, incinerate. Also on a special 2, you have regeneration, a little bit of power steal, or a direct burst of energy damage, and also a very strong buff immunity that you apply to the opponent, and also a very potent nullify as well. So there is a lot of stuff that Clairvoyant can do, but I think one of the cons of this champion is that you kind of need to pick your utility, because you can only have one curse active at a time. So she can't power steal and regenerate at the same time, or be immune to all three, so that's a little bit of a drawback of the champion. But even with the suicide masteries, this champion is an absolute beast, very useful for a lot of stuff in Act 6 and Alliance War especially, and also Variant 1 as well. So overall, man, I think Black Widow Clairvoyant is a really solid Mystic addition to the game, and a very solid number 10 on today's ranking. Now, moving on to champion number 9, we have Havok. Havok is my friggin' guy. This man has carried me so much in Alliance War this year. He is amazing for so many different high tier matchups, such as Korg, Thing, Nick Fury, also Iron Man Infinity War. Like, we took down a mini boss yesterday using Havok. No sweat at all. This man is absolutely crazy, and I feel like you don't really understand the value of Havok until you've played this champion a fair bit in the high tier. But he has really strong energy resistance, a very powerful heavy attack as well. The special 3 is just absolutely amazing for bypassing all sorts of phases and super fun and interactive damage blocks on certain champions. But Havok is just one of those champions that the more you play him, the more you realize just how crazy valuable this dude is. But yeah, he's just amazing for all sorts of endgame matchups, a very versatile champion. Also used him a fair bit earlier on this year in Alliance Quest Map 7 as well for the diss track paths. But there's just so much that Havok can do. I think he is just an astounding addition to the game. Then at the number 8 spot, we have Sunspot, who is just such an awesome champion. Sunspot has access just to some mega damage on the special 2 once you ramp him up after a few SP1s. Also, this champion is immune to incinerate. He has a lot of incinerate debuffs as well, which just make him so good with the despair mastery, and also for a lot of lanes and paths in Alliance Quest Map 7. Also Sunspot, and this is something that's really huge for the endgame stuff, especially Act 6, is whenever you parry with this dude, even on special attacks, and the opponent is incinerated, you always take 0 damage, not only from the parry, but from the duration of the opponent's combo. So if you're fighting stun immune, or if your parry fails for whatever reason, like Crossbones Black Widow for example, for the full combo, you take 0 damage. And especially when we see opponents with ridiculous attack, like, 15-20k, where a full block combo is going to get you pretty much dead, like Sunspot, this bit of utility is just absolutely amazing. So this guy has just been so useful. He's carrying me through Alliance Quest every single week, so I think he's definitely deserving of our number 8 spot today. Moving on to today's number 7, we have Dr. Doom, and Dr. Doom is just so much fun to play. This character just has limitless enjoyment for me at the moment. He does everything you want a Mystic champion to do. He's got really strong, really potent nullifies, stagger effects as well. Also very good power denial on the opponent, and the ability to like siphon power back and kind of steal it from himself. But also on top of that, his damage output is ridiculous, man. You get like a couple of Furies off the special 3, you fire off a special 2, and your opponent is dead. They're just straight in the bin there. I used this guy for the very first time in Alliance War yesterday, and I made so many like mistakes playing this dude, but I still absolutely tore through like a tier 1 final champion boss for like 400,000 hit points. Dr. Doom is kind of just like everything I wanted him to be, and maybe a little bit more as well. So I love Dr. Doom. I think he's a really, really good addition, and I think this man might be seeing a Beyond God tier promotion at some point in the future. The quality of champions so far has been ridiculous, but we are far from over. So next up we have Namor, and Namor, I absolutely love Namor, but I think at the moment he kind of suffers from what I'm going to call Proxima Midnight Syndrome, where this champion has unfathomable levels of damage output. Like his damage output after a few special 3s is just crazy. So crazy that nothing can like really survive it to like properly see his damage output. So Namor, you get to like a special 3 or 2 and most stuff in Act 6 is just dead. It's just in the bin, absolutely ruined. This champion, he does take like a bit of practice and also a lot of skill and timing to play really, really well, but the damage alone is just crazy. On top of that, the awakened ability is one of the strongest things we've ever seen in the game. So while attacking Namor, he doesn't take any fun and interactive damage, so if he's taking damage, all of that damage, providing you've got him at max sig level, is then siphoned onto the opponent. So this is just crazy for so many matchups if you're playing very aggressively. Just allows him to ignore all sorts of fun damage, like in a Dormammu matchup, Magic matchup, Havok matchup, just any degeneration matchup in general, or any fun and interactive damage there. Also, he's got a little bit of regeneration on every single special he throws, but that's really kind of the beauty of Namor, is just the crazy damage output, the back-to-back specials, the ability to like siphon all the damage he's taking onto the opponent, so he doesn't like have a laundry list of utility, but the very few things he does just make him like an absolutely ridiculous champion. So yeah, really, really good addition to the game, and I hope Kabam leave Namor alone because he is a fantastic champion. You know this list is about to get a little bit silly when Namor is at number 6, but anyway, we have Captain Marvel movie up next at number 5. Just such a ridiculous champion in terms of the burst damage when you have the Nick Fury synergy and she's fully ramped up. Granted, she takes like one fight of, you know, parrying, maybe throwing a few special 1s, maybe a special 3, but after that, she's just an unstoppable force of nature. But really, for Captain Marvel to be good, you do need to pair her with a Nick Fury synergy, but if you got both of those champions in like Act 6, you are having a proper laugh. Like, she's just crazy in terms of the damage, a lot of armor breaks. Also, the signature ability grants her up to a 12-second period of being completely indestructible as well. So this is just like crazy, man, for getting through so many like really annoying phases and certain champions. And yeah, also a poison immune character, again a lot of armor breaks, additional energy damage, you got stun on the special too. But Captain Marvel is just a brute force champion that tears through so much content. Now moving on to our number 4, we have Guillotine 2099, another absolutely insane champion released this year. Guillotine 2099, I like to just describe her as Star-Lord with like 10 more pieces of utility and like even more damage output potential, because that is just essentially what this champion is. A much better version of Star-Lord that can tackle a lot more stuff in the end game. If you get this champion, you're absolutely sorted for stuff like Variant 3. Also a lot of problem fights in Act 6 as well. Being a double immunities champion, she's got some great utility there. Also a very powerful synergy with a lot of additional robots as well, but she's just a fantastically made champion. There are so many little bits and bobs that this champion can do. She's like an armor up, so it makes her a Havok counter there, a little bit of a power drain, a little bit of a life steal as well. She can disable her ability to crit the opponents. That's really good for matchups like Mr. Sinister and any scenario where you are punished from critting. Also has a combo shield on her heavy attacks, and also her awakened ability as well, so even, you know, if you do mess up, you've got like a little bit of a safety net. And combined with the Nick Fury synergy, man, there is so much safety in playing this champion, but you do need to use your special 3 initially to end that first fight, and also end every single fight if you really want to start with a big damage ramp up. But if you do end the previous fight with a special 3, you get into the big damage really, really quickly, and, you know, above like 300 hits, even like 200 hits, man, her damage is just beyond ridiculous. It's just so crazy. So Guillotine, if you get this champion, she's really useful, great to rank up for a lot of stuff at the moment, but I think she has a lot of future use because she kind of has this like Proxima Midnight syndrome as well, where you can't really see her proper damage output because the health pools like aren't big enough right now, but they might be at some point in the future, man. Abyss of Legends next year, we're gonna have to see, but Guillotine is just, again, an amazing addition. Now, when it comes to the top 3 champions, I was really torn because I think all 3 of these champions are in their own way deserving of Champion of the Year. So this is really hard, man. It's so close, so debatable. Like, all the champions in this list, in all fairness, man, are probably deserving of Champion of the Year, but I had to go with my gut, and I'm gonna tell you why. So number 3 is Thing. Thing is just a monstrosity. If you have the full synergy team, even without it, man, he's just got so much utility, so much stuff he can do. But if you run the champion synergy as well, and there are lots of different ways you can build them with like Heimdall, Mr. Fantastic, you can have the Hela and Angela synergy as well. You know, there's a lot of different stuff you can do with Thing and his team set up right now, but this champion, he's just an unstoppable force of damage, really. If you have the champion synergy, you just blitz through so much stuff in Act 5, uncollected events. We're looking at like Variant 1, Variant 2, even Variant 3, man. He's really good for. Thing is just a brute force, such a fun champion. By a country mile, this man is the best member of the Fantastic Four that we've seen this year. They peaked way too early with the Fantastic Four, but yeah, Thing is just amazing. Like, if you get this champion, you got a little bit of skill, you've just friggin' won the game. You've got immunity to bleed, shock, armor break, armor shatter, nullify, stagger, and fate seal effects. So many like quirky little immunities there for stuff like EMP mod, also champions that spam nullify, got unstoppable, unblockable on the special 3, nice stun on the special 2. The potential for Thing is limitless, man. He is such a good champion for a lot of progressing endgame players if you have the champion synergy and can learn to play this man very well. So yeah, arguably deserving of Champion of the Year, an astounding addition to the game. It's been a tough list so far, but at number 2, we have Nick Fury, who is one of my all-time favorite characters ever to be added to Marvel Contest of Champions. If you can bleed the opponent, the damage is just nuts. It's just it is silly levels of damage output. The life model decoy and the ability to come back is just so much fun, especially in stuff like Alliance War, because you can play this guy, you know, a little bit casually, but when you really want to get into it and that powerful Nick Fury phase, you can transition whenever you want there. But it's also like that nice safety net for stuff like Alliance Quest as well. I use this guy in Alliance Quest, Alliance War. He's really good for some of the variant stuff as well. Like Variant 3, he can be really useful for. Act 6, he's just an absolute beast mode character for just tearing through everything. You have the ability on the special 1 as well. Once you fire off pretty much like one special 1, you're ignoring like evade, also miss. At 10 charges, you can purify like all debuffs by knocking the opponent down. At 15 charges, you become like fully unblockable as well. So he's just like a really quick ramp up Aegon in the right scenario. So yeah, he's just crazy, man. He's so good. You got a nice little stun on the special too. But Nick Fury is an absolute force of nature. And his synergies as well are just amazing, because just on his own, he's giving like every hero in your team, and about half the characters in this game are heroes, 10% attack rating, and if he dies, it's 20% attack rating there, so it's a really nice chunk. You can also build in like all sorts of like one-time immunities and also regeneration via various synergies, and also the Quake/Ant-Man evade synergy is one of the best synergies in the game, because it just allows you like 3 like little safety nets if you are to mess up, where you would like generally get one shot or like lose half your health yourself in endgame, and he's just going to save you. So it's so good there. But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff you can do with Nick Fury, and I think, you know, he's arguably, again, deserving of Champion of the Year. He is an outstanding champion, and I love him, man. Nick Fury is my friggin' boy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got through 9 absolutely phenomenal champions to arrive at our #1 champion of 2019, and that character is Warlock. Warlock is absolutely game-changing for any progressing player that can pull this champion, because he is literally the solution to about 80% of the problems in endgame Marvel Contest of Champions. Alliance Quest, Alliance War, he's an absolute beast for. He's countering so many of the really problem fights out there. A lot of Havocs, a lot of Mr. Sinister, big regeneration. If we have a look at stuff like the variants, Variant 1, he's a beast for the tech chapter. Variant 2, he's an XL champion, absolutely amazing for all the poison stuff you see. The Havok's knocking about there. And then we got Variant 3, the tech variant, and he's just a crazy counter to like the regeneration Rogue, the Colossus boss, the Kang boss, the really stacked Mr. Sinister, the really stacked Havok, and don't even get me started on Act 6, man. You got like the regeneration Crossbones, the Sabretooth in the first chapter, just completely shuts those down. You've also got the regeneration Poison Red Hulk that he completely shuts down. Chapter 2, you got the Mr. Sinister boss, you got the Electro. Chapter 3, you've got like the big Medusa Bleed boss, you got so many bleed paths everywhere. This dude is just like the king of being like a versatile champion that is going to smoke so many difficult fights in the endgame content, and also especially paired with the Guillotine 2099 synergy, the Vision synergy as well, the Robots Uprising synergy, and a tech power booster. This man has so much damage output. So the uses for Warlock are just mad. He just slaughters so many really, really annoying matchups. He's such a versatile champion. You've got an armor up buff. You've got also Iceman immunity as well, bleed, poison, cold snap, frostbite. You have like the full ability to block out healing and also punish with degeneration. And one of the best parts about this champion is his awakened ability doesn't really like do much, man. It's just a little bit of degeneration. So even unawakened, this champion does everything you need him to, but the awakened ability is just a very small bonus, which is, you know, the kind of awakened ability I like, man. But yeah, there's just a ridiculous amount. The heavy attack as well. The heavy attack deals so much damage. You can chain it on in the corner because it's really, really quick. Does a lot of bleed damage, which interacts with certain champions like Thing, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, to counter various mechanics there. You've got a shock on the special 1, you got a power drain on the special 1, you got 2 armor breaks on the special 2, you've got 4 power drain on the special 3, and also you regenerate on the special 3 for each virus you have active. And if you're playing really aggressively with a tech power booster, this can be like 4-5 viruses, so it can be like 25% regeneration there. This man is the ultimate Swiss Army knife champion. So Warlock, I friggin' love Warlock, man. And I had so many people like come up to me at Comic-Con, like after I made Warlock videos the month before, just being like, "Seatin, I saw your Warlock videos, I pulled them, I just took him to rank 5, and dude, I have friggin' no regrets." And I literally had 10 people, man, come up to me and say this. And like throughout the last few months, I've had so many people kind of reach out to me and like thanking me for telling them about Warlock, because this champion is doing work for so many players in the end game, which is what I love to see, man. So yeah, Warlock, I think he's the best champion of 2019, but again, depending on what qualities you are looking at, it's debatable. But I think for overall usefulness for a progressing player or any player in this game, Warlock for me is the king of 2019. But also I do want to give some honorable mentions as well to 4 champions that didn't quite make the list. So those 4 champions, the first one, Cull Obsidian, absolutely amazing brute force damage, the ability to counter evade if you're playing quite quickly, but the block proficiency and also the reliance on kind of a full team synergy to make him like somewhat sustainable lets Cull down a little bit for me, so he's just out of the top 10 there. Also, my boy Stealth Suit Spider-Man didn't quite make it, but he's got amazing damage output, you know, a very solid crit rate as well, like ridiculous crit rate really, and also the ability to counter miss effects and also slow, providing you can get the the combo up, and also evade champions as well. So not really the best counter there, but he does work quite well if you can get into a matchup and play quite aggressively. Also, Human Torch I want to give a very special shout out to. I think Human Torch in your average matchup is not really that great, but with his pre-fight ability, and if you're fighting an opponent that has energy damage and also is a Mystic champion and already, like, he's just so good. There is so much damage output there. Definitely the second best member of the Fantastic Four, but Human Torch definitely deserves a very honorable mention there. And the final champions, again, honorable mention is Mysterio. Mysterio, there is, you know, a lot of damage output in the right scenario, but I think the thing that kind of annoys me about Mysterio is that you either have the damage or you have the utility. And that, for me, just kind of kills the character a little bit, because all you really need to do is spam the special 3. You need to weave in heavy attacks to get off the poison as well. And Mysterio, he's alright, but I wanted him to be a little bit more than he actually turned out to be. So yeah, but overall, man, still a really, really good champion. If you get Mysterio, he's going to do a lot of work for endgame content, but overall, as you can see, man, this is by far the hardest year to ever debate the top 10 champions. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, remember that this is my opinion, and you, if you want, can have a different opinion, and that is totally allowed. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thank you very much for watching, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.